Hello and welcome to this speed run of a game where I've got a new concept where I'm going to run through a few of my games at hyper-fast 20 times speed on my beastly computer, and let's see these longer games and I'll break them down as we go along. You may notice I have the music tune in the background. I'm going to try and not edit this whatsoever, so forgive my forgive my bad commentary, and we'll see where we end up. But I wanted to show you this game because there were a few mistakes made, but I actually learned a lot from this looking at it. So I thought, hey, you guys might learn something as well. We're going to see a few interesting concepts. We're going to get put on the back foot really badly, and see how we recover from that, and show you sometimes don't give up too quickly. Now, we're coming through. I'm coming up here with the maces just to basically apply pressure at a very low efficiency rate, however, but it still, puts the ceiling on the other players. They don't want to push into me because I look nasty with these defences. I'm not. There are a couple of LLTs. But yeah, and I'm pushing forward unexpectedly from different angles. Now, I'm 100% of the believer that vehicles are probably the way to go for effective pushes and aggression that's economical. But as long as I'm willing to throw away a few of these guys, they're okay and they do the jobs, the maces, and gets me through to the late game. Now, I've put down only one advanced solar collector here. I've just got enough of an economy until I start getting the T2 mexes. I'm not being derelict in my frontline duties this game. Yeah, so fortunately we see Eco coming up, Zippo, and building this T2 plasma early on. That's a really good contribution, and considering how often Canyon falls, something like this is all the difference that is needed. Now, I had some Sheldons up here. They got chased down by some electric vehicles. That was pretty painful. The problem with Sheldons, you've always got to keep on them. You can't just sort of be AFK, and that's the issue. Otherwise, they do get rushed by a fast vehicle. So yeah, so I don't be so aggressive with them now. Blue is sort of creating this just-in-time offensive option. This is for high APM players, because look, that advanced vehicle plant, that's going to get taken down with this paltry amount of defences here sooner or later, and you've got to rebuild it. So Meowcat Meow is going to have to be ready for that, which as Blue probably has the APM to deal with it. This Pulsar here is in a really annoying position, by the way, and keeps on sniping my forces around here. The ultimate position for Pulsar if you do get the chance to build it. We see the T3 already out at 23 minutes, a lot of razors, followed by these Pulsars, quite a nasty combination. Fortunately, we've got In-Dead that comes across and helps out Blue, and really covers for Blue. So Blue at the moment's just looking, got like nothing here. I start producing a lot of grunts and that to sort of put on this cheaper pressure and make sure I seem spiky. So I've got grunts and lasers. I've also got mammoths, right? So that's because this player left actually, so that set us back a little bit. I've been producing my mega lasers, my starlights, and I've been producing from the mammoths that are there to really tank a lot of the I suppose T3. They're both tier 2.5 units, so they can take on this tier 3 rush. That's what I've been focused on. Fortunately, they're pressing on Blue, and we see just the massive attrition from Blue, but also In-Dead's coming across all the way over his lane, and we see Air building a lot of gunships, really covering from Blue, despite the fact they're scaling. They've got 3 APHIS up by 28 minutes, so really you're seeing a just enough defense. If you're ever worried about not building enough defense, just look at Blue here. This is the art of just building enough defense with enough die. Very ballsy indeed. But you have got other team players that can cover for you. Maybe they're on Discord or something, I don't know. So we see here, pushed by Starlights. They're actually attacking ground. They can't see me. And I work out eventually they're attacking ground, and I attack ground back. So that's an important tactic with artillery sometimes. And we have this push here that almost ends up in the death of us all. Oh, there's a lot of shivers. We've got this Karagorith. I don't know what they are. They're a big, nasty-looking spider. Back at the base, experimental lab. APHIS is producing. Actually, finished at 4 APHISes, so good to see they're producing units now. And this really is the cheeky thing about what Blue's doing, is just getting away with enough units to act like they're doing something, while in fact actually scaling. But now it is emergency time. We're getting pushed on pretty hard. I think the statistics is, as they withdraw, and this is Orange's Starlights as well. Yeah, this is a very close run thing right here. We are not in a good place. Fortunately, they all chain react, which Starlights tend to do, and we're going to see a chain reaction over here from this annoying Pulsar. But what have I got to do? I've got to contribute to try and stop these Thors and stop this massive T3 push, because certainly blue hasn't got, like, they've got a line of AA defences, so that's not going to do much. They're continuing to scale though, that's good. So, and they've got one like mechanised spider and a couple of tremors. Really, it's defence by tremors, I would say, is the massive output of blue so far. They seem to be doing okay. They're doing, better than, I suppose, some others. Look at Zippo, 500 to 250, 200%. Absolute stellar game from Eco on the efficiency wise. I'm getting beat up more than anything and acting like I'm big and spiky. But yeah, all I'm getting attacked with is just this torrent of T1 and the occasional pestilence. So I'm just sort of making sure I've got enough now. You can see I'm scaling with reactors, and my economy is going okay. It isn't anything exceptional, but on the other hand, I am defending the whole canyon and having to rebuild things all the time, but it's certainly not my best game. We see the catapults here come out and attack this forward base. That's how exposed these forward bases are. Any sort of catapult fire is the death of them. So, yeah, and tactical missile launchers too. That's been hitting me, my shields, and the big gun up here. So a very, very annoying couple of units which can break down any sort of forward defence. And that's why you need these T3 units up and pulling the weight. Finally, we see blue come out with a Juggernaut at the 37-minute mark. Stop scaling for a moment. And this is all blue needs to do, one Juggernaut. I'm of a mixed opinion here of just sending it off to die, because Juggernauts, as good as they are, probably 3 Juggernauts is better, but it's about time blue done something. But in saying that, these tremors are, look how meta this is, just stopping these grunts in their tracks. A lot cheaper than producing all these grunts. They're even killing my grunts too, of course, so there you go. I've actually been blown up down here by a long-range plasma, so yeah, I'm having to rebuild that. If we go over to where red is, this is a pretty massive push. And a good timing around the 40-minute times, but there's just too much on the board. I think too many T3 units to really get through it. So yeah, maybe just a little bit late, but we have no choice because we have this Ragnarok nearly done. So what's going to happen here? I didn't realise how close this was to getting done. Did it fire? Like, I think it just wasn't even used. Yeah, it was up, it just wasn't even used. Unfortunately, the unused Ragnarok loses it for the team, and then spontaneously this player explodes, and what it's hard is called. So there you go. Someone said 1 second to finish build. Maybe they hadn't thought it'd finished building yet. No, it just sat there not doing anything. So there you go. That was a bit of a letdown for the team, and particularly this player spontaneously exploding, which is the same as blue. And let's admit, if blue had been pushed on with any sort of coordination, they would have fell by now. So yeah, so we've got this side though adding the pressure, and through the canyon side. So the other team now have to come across and defend that and think about that and not push on our blue friend. That's why they keep on running units through here intermittently, because blue is showing a little bit of weakness. Now they're not weak now. They've got shields everywhere. In fact, they're scaling so fast. It's over 1,000 metals a second, but that's just from all the reclaim they're doing too. Still, their economy is bigger than ours, about 100 or so metal a second. So they've been scaling like crazy. While we've sort of been, holding on. I've got mammoths up here. The reason being is we were catapulted to death, all our defences. So I had to pull back a little bit and be in a bit more of a defensive position, but I can do that with these lovely canyon walls. But, now we're starting to see finally an evening up. Certainly the other team has been ahead in the damage efficiency up to now, but I think that was almost a morale loss, what happened then. When you lose a Ragnarok like that early on. Possibly too early and too forward for the defences they had, but still, you need to be able to use every opportunity you can. They could have knocked out a couple of players. We see this big attack of the Fiends come through. It's quite a big ball. I think they've ruined it here. They've come back to attack my Mammoth, and Mammoth wins against Fiends and allows me to bring up these Mammoths over here and just polish them off. That's why I love Mammoths. They're just sort of good against everything as long as they're in position. This jug, maybe it's the same jug, is just sort of sitting here outside this nasty hero pulsar range. Yeah, so we'll push forward at the appropriate time, and here we go. Combine destructs the starlights and pushes forward, and we're going to see the death now around the back of this yellow base. Everyone hates it. That hero pulsar, we hate it. Down it goes, 116. Oh no, It's still there. So don't take on a main character pulsar, guys. Waste of time. I get nuked bombed here into or advanced geothermal power plant, but I stay on. I hang on because I have all this AA because I'm paranoid. So like I say, yeah, I have faith. I have faith in my AA, although it often seems to not quite hit in time before the damage is done, but in that time I was just lucky enough. So we have this finally blue building something, so all that time was to come forward and build this Ragnarok, and we see like plus 1200, 1300 metal just from all this reclaim at this critical juncture. So really all the pushes have worked in blue's favour. They've like acted weak all this time, which in fact they have looked pretty weak on the front line, just to reclaim all the metal and build a Calamity rather. So yeah, we're going to see hopefully blue fire this Calamity into the enemy. This is getting into the late game now, 50 minutes. So right where the yellow is, bang, down they go. Oh, no shields. A little bit of an oversight from our friends. I think the morale loss, they've just sort of given up. If they build a Calamity or Ragnarok, that's the end of the game, and in fact this is what it looks like now. Look at all these shields come up instantly. It's showing how many constructors can build a base, especially air constructors. They don't have to move around that much. And air's had a fantastic game too. Here they do the flyover just to do the scouting and everything, because it's taken the Ragnarok a little while to reposition fire. There we go, allowing the shields over here with pink. But I think the game's all over. There's only a couple of players left, and yeah, our team's done quite well. In the end, we see, let's see, overall, our team's actually had a lot less damage dealt. We'll wait for the awards. All right, let's pause it there. This 20 times speed battle. So that was done pretty quick, hopefully. We see Meow come through in the end, and they actually did destroy a lot of units and defences, but I simply think that was just because the enemy kept on throwing the units and at blue, and they were just able to build just-in-time defences. But it just does go to show this is a really critical spot. It was the first one to go on the enemy, and they weren't panicked about overbuilding. They just built enough as required, and that ended up helping them out and building this Calamity in the end. That was a pretty decent win. I wouldn't say it's anything great from us. We just had to take over a player here who left. They got a bit disheartened early on, I think, and then I took over and my main goal was simply to defend this canyon because I was sure the enemy would sniff weakness and go, oh, they had a player left here, let's push on them. We did see several pushes, but they weren't sort of the push quality that would be needed to get through our defences. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you like this speedrun format, because I've been playing so many good long games lately. I thought, how can I hurry this up? How can I show the magnificence of Bar quickly and simply? I thought I'll just put it on 20 times speed. I will commentate it in real time and see if you guys like it. If this was a complete CF, a cluster fickle, let me know in the comments below. Like or subscribe, and thank you very much. See you next video.